Are your A1 charging cutoff pilot valve this task over the disassembly, cleaning, inspection, repair, and assembling the test? Toolkit SE494097CLE12 pneumatic grease, emery cloth, powder graphite, lubricating oil, and dry cleaning solvent. Equipment condition reference paragraph 350 condition description. A1 charging cutoff valve remove. Warning: valve assemblies are under spring load. Use caution disassembly assembly. During disassembly procedure with the no parts fly out, causing injury to personnel. No charging the cutoff pilot valve provides brake and two protections. When removing the repairing brake valve with components, check airline piping for corrosion breaks. Split loose connection to repair airlines piping consists of replacing defective pipes and lines. Connection refer to Technium Manual 55 22 10 23 24P. Identification pipe to remove the two bolts with remove the top cover 3, spring 4 from the body 1. Disassembly, remove the two bolts 5 with the bottom covered 6 with remove the actuating piston 7 with remove the cutoff piston. Assembly 8, remove the gaskets 8, 9, 11, and 12. 6, 6 disassemble the actuating piston assembly 7 of the following. Remove O-ring 13, O-rings 14, actuating piston 15, remove plug 16, fell strainer 17, strainer retainer 18, disassembly cutoff piston assembly 8, remove the O-ring 19 from the 4 O-rings 20 with the cutoff valve 21, remove the 2 check valve with assembly 22, assemble the 2 check valve with assembly 22, with remove the 2 cap nuts 23, spring 24, check valve 25, move chuck plug 26. And this is your, back out of this. This is a picture of your A1 charging cutoff pilot valve with fuel at two lines, and a check valve seat for springs, and both lines, and a cover. Alright, cleaning, inspection, and repair. Warning: dry cleaning solve with a PD6A with the toxic flammable to wear protective gloves and goggles. Used only with a well-ventilated area. Avoid contact skin, eye with the cloths, but do not breathe vapor. Do not use near open flame with excessive heat. Flash points is between 100 and 138 degrees Fahrenheit. With the come to dizzy, get fresh air immediately. Medical immediately. Tension immediately. Contact eyes with the wash your eyes. Get medical aid immediately. Compress air used for the cleaning purpose of the 9C30 psi. Do not direct compress air against skin. Use goggles, full face shield. Use the cloth to dampen the dry cleaning solvent to remove the grease, the oil, exterior, and interior of the body. Use the dry cleaning solvent to clean metal parts. Dry with the compressed air. Inspect metal parts over the cracks on the brakes and cuts. Other damage. Replace the damaged part. Check with the spring have not rusted. Become distorted. Take permanent set. Replace the damaged springs. Refinish face with the rubber check valve with the lapping over the piece with a medium weight and paper. Caution: do not use the medical tools with the cleaning choke. With the use of the metallic tools with the train side of the choke with the resulting of the failure of the brake valve system. In order to avoid misplacement of the choke, with remove the replacement one with the choke plug at a time. Clean, inspection, repair plug choke plug by the following. Remove the choke plug with a plate for the dry cleaning solvent. Inspect the choke plug passages for the cleanliness and use the compressed air with remove the foreign material. Remove the choke valve with the choke plug with the dry cleaning solvent with the compressed air with the check with the choke box is clean with the unrestricted light clean thread with the choke plug with the compound consists of 1 part graphite, 2 parts oil. Install choke plug and then use the silicone grease lubricating O-rings. O-ring screw with the spool valve with the bushings within spool valves. Entry cleaning with lit and free cloth with remove the excessive lubricant. Warning: valve assembly under a spring load with the use of the caution during assembly. Proceed with the no parts fly with the odds of causing injury to personnel. Install choke plug 26 in body 1. Install 2 spring 24, check valve 25, 2 cap nuts 23. Install 2 check valves assembly 22 with the tighten with the 4 ring O-ring 20 with the O-ring 19 cutoff valve 21. Assembly cut piston assembly 7 of the following. Install 4 O-rings and 14. O-ring 13, actuating piston 15, install filter, strainer 17, unplug 16, secure the strainer retainer 18, and install the plug 16, actuating pipe piston 15, and tighten. Install gasket 12, 11, 10, 9, install actuating piston assembly, install bottom cover 7 with the secure with the 2 bolts 5, install cutoff piston assembly 8, install spring and top cover 3, secure with the 2 bolts 2. Test the A1 charging pilot valve with according to the test specification T2617 with the A1 charging cutoff pilot valve functions as follows: with the cutoff piston with the C with the cutoff check valve, selector valves, and legend brake pipe, leading trail locomotive normal releases, actuating piston, actuate automatic standing timing choke brake pipe, 1, 2 volume 12 the emergency switch reset pipe 9 auto standing power knockout 30 main reserve 53 brake pipe cutoff pipe and 35 dynamic cut off. Alright, during normal braking operation, the A1 charging cutoff pilot valve with the normal position is followed with the main reserve of the will present with the chamber A beneath the cutoff piston head to hold the upper piston and with the chamber B beneath the cutoff piston with the spool valve with the connect with the exhaust valve with the BIVA port 53 with the cutoff pilot valve with the exhaust with the 26C brake valve on leading unit chamber C with the bulb with the cutoff piston with the port 9 is connected to exhaust V with the actuating piston valve spool valve with the automatic standing timing choking brake pipe flows for the port 1 chamber 8 chamber D with the throwing with the backside with the actuating piston through the choke piston to chamber 3 with the outer face of the piston throughout the port 11 with the 90 cubic inches of the volume reservoir chain of the volume reservoir both sides of the actuating piston with the brake pipe pressure port 35 chamber beneath the dynamic cutting out switch exhausted through the cutoff piston spool valve. Our test. When braking 2 occurs, A1 charging cutoff pilot valve functions follows the actuating piston positions after number 11 the pipe volume reservoir exhaust valve through the timing choke. Brake pipe pressure drops faster with the chamber D through the chamber E with the choking with the resultant with the brake pressure differential across with the actuating piston spool valve with the makeup the upward and spring loading main reservoir connected with the actuating spool valve with the chamber C with the outer face of the cutoff piston and allowed with the port 9 with the power cutoff switch standing reservoir with the chamber beneath the B with the cutoff spool with the valve with the normally exhaust with the present main reservoir pressure chamber C outer face cutoff piston with the cutoff with the cause of the piston spool valve with the B force with the inward with the lowest position with chamber A beneath the cutoff piston is exhausted. Main reservoir is connected through the cutoff piston spool valve 35 pass down C the cutout check valve with the port 53 brake pipe cutoff valve and the 26C brake valve with the air pressure for the 9 cubic inch volume pressure port 11 chamber E beneath the actuating chamber continually reduced to 0 through the piston choke valve port 1 brake pipe exhaust. When the pressure has been reduced to the predetermined value of the spring tension will move with the actuating piston with the spool valve with the lowest position with the air pressure for the sanding reservoir with exhaust with the sanding automatic sanding time to choke V with the port with the 9 actuating piston spool valve with the pressure likewise exhaust with the chamber C with the outer face for the cutoff piston. When the 26C brake valve is handled with its emergency position with the reset with the A1 charging power and pilot valve with the will functions valve with the main reserve connected with the port 12 with the brake valve with the flow past the unseated selector check valve with the chamber B with the knee of the cutoff piston with the force of the cutoff piston from the spool valve upward to the either normal or release position. Pipe 53 pressure supply with the airflow with the port 12 cannot be dissipated with the cutout pilot valve at the brake valve. Brake valve handle must be removed to release the position before the pipe 53 air pressure can be drained with the brake pipe and the brake release. The slightly inherent delay with releasing the brakes have been introduced using the arrangement of the brake and two protections. Alright, that copy is the 415 A1 charging cutoff pilot valve.